Today I just want to talk to you a little bit about the Canon Eosm and the Magiclantern, and what the Canon Eosm with the Magiclantern did to me and what it represents for me. So the Canon Eosm paired with the Magiclantern, it allows us to record in-body raw footages. And the raw footages, that means a lot of possibility in the post-production. So if the color of the footage is just not good, you can adjust. You can do a lot of adjustments. Now, of course, installing the Magiclantern on Canon Eosm, you are losing everything what before was a possibility in auto mode. So focusing, it becomes automatically manual focusing. So you have to pull the focus manually. So you have to learn how to pull the focus manually. Then the aperture, if there was a possibility to make it automatic before, now it is in manual mode. So you have to adjust yourself the aperture. And if you are in a moving position and you are changing, you are going from indoor to outdoor, then changing the aperture, it's not that easy. So you have to learn quite a lot of things with the Magiclantern, and that's the fun part. Now, the second big fun part is that you become just, okay with doing everything manually. And then manual lenses are really not a problem for you. This is how you can discover so many old lenses, because obviously old lenses were or are working only in manual mode. There's nothing automatic on them. And this is what is fascinating for me. And I started, and I am still on the road of discovering old lenses. I am fascinated by old lenses and the technology behind them. And I just want to show you, for example, this lens. This is a camera surveillance lens. This is a cosmicar TV lens, right? It's a really small lens, right? Cosmicar TV lens, and it has a focal length of 4.8 millimeters, and the aperture, the maximum aperture is 1.8. Now, what is fascinating about this lens is that it's small, already the size of it. And what is funny, it has only the aperture adjustment ring. So I can adjust only the aperture with on this lens. So I imagine, because the focus, the minimal focus distance is very close, and after that, everything is in focus and has some kind of infinity focusing system on it. And this one, you can attach the Canon Eosm with an adapter ring. Canon Eosm to C-mount. C-mount means screws. So the M42 also are it's a system with screw, but it's a bigger circle. So this one is a smaller circle. Now the circle, normally, if the glasses would be as big as the circle, would cover almost the entirety of the sensor. But because the glass on the C-mount is quite small, right? It doesn't cover, so it is only in the middle, and this is why they are working best with presets with a big crop factor, because if not, you will have a lot of vignetting. So I'm using this one with one-to-one crop factor, and the presets are 2.5K, or even better, I discovered with 1280p. It is working quite well. And what I love about it, obviously, because it's a 4.8 millimeter focal length, it's kind of a fisheye. So obviously you have that kind of fisheye thing where you know that everything not is straight. So it's like the fisheye, but it is really usable. And what is nice, you never have to worry about pulling a focus. So focus pulling it's you can see it's automatically. It's a from a very close distance to the infinity. Everything is in focus. So you just take out the camera and you can shoot. You can just you have to just adjust the aperture if it's, you know, killing the light, if it's too bright outside, and really that's it. So I really love this lens. This lens is just super nice. But now I really have to speak to you about the lens on which I am filming right now. Let me just, I will just show you. So the lens that I'm, you know, filming right now, it has a really nice history. Like, as I told you, by discovering, you know, old surveillance camera lenses, which are almost free to have it, you are paying like a couple dollars, like $2, $3, $5. And the glasses inside are pretty cool. And the technology inside are sometimes really impressive. Like in the case of this lens that I want to speak to you today, it's a camera, surveillance camera lens that has ND filter inside, and it has the maximum aperture of 1.3. So you can go really in somber or dark places, but it had a little bit of challenge to make it work with the Canon Eosm. So what was the challenge with this lens is that it had an automatic iris, meaning that everything was electronic. So you couldn't manually open the iris, close the iris. And that has been, that was a challenge. And secondly, well, when I was trying to, you know, put it on the adapter, because it was big and bulky, I just couldn't screw it enough. And the distance from the sensor and the lens was just way too much. So it just wasn't working. But I wanted to make it work with the Canon Eosm, and plus I liked the focal distance, because that's a 12.5 millimeter lens, and the focal distance is quite nice. So I wanted to make it work. So this project took me a little bit to make it work, but I made it. So today, as you can see, I'm recording this footage on that lens, and it's just working. I made it work in manual focusing, and the electronic iris, I can make it to open. And now I'm trying to make it a little bit to be able to adjust but that's another challenge. Okay, so now I have the 4.8 millimeter cosmicar TV lens on the Canon Eosm with the Magiclantern. I'm using the preset, as I told you, the 1280p, and it is working with it. No problem, and I just don't have to, be bothered to focusing. So, but let's just come back to the lens that I've been talking to you and was using just before right now. So this is the lens. Yeah. So this is the lens. Okay. And you see, I made quite a lot of adjustments. So this is what you can see from external. So let's pick what I have done. And this lens is monlyx Auto Iris 12.5 millimeter f1.3. So, and I bought it like, I don't know, $2. It was like $2, this one. I bought it with an old CCD surveillance camera, and the surveillance camera, it wasn't working anymore. So I thought to myself, I have to try out this lens. So, but there was quite a lot of work. So what we can see it from externally is you see this screwing system. So before this, there was a ring like this one, right? And this ring was attached here, right? Like this one. But like this was too bulky to be able to fit with the adapter. And I just had to take it down. But this one this one was tightening these two elements. So once that I have taken down this one, because there are some screws inside here, well, this part, which is the screwing element to the adapter, it was just coming out. So I had to do two holes here and put a screw inside to be able to keep inside here. So it was quite difficult and challenging. But once I have managed to do this, then I could screw to the adapter, right? Be able the lens to come closer to the sensor. That was really important by just eliminating this thing, right? And then, because I have, here put two screw elements, so the focusing is now working with the front element, and it's working. Focusing is just working quite nicely, as you could see at the beginning of this video. Now, inside, you can see it now. Look here. Now I'm closed. Look attentively here. So now it's closed, the iris. Now it's open. Now it's closed. Now it's open. Now I'm trying. What do you see? When I'm opening, look, right? You see, it's not opened wide. Now it's wide open. Now it's not. Now it is. So unfortunately, what I can do right now is just opening the iris, closing the iris, and sometimes I can manage to do a semi openness, so I can, but not always working fine. So this is because there was electronics inside. So as I told you, this was an Auto Iris CC lens, and it had this electronic here inside, which this part was was connected to the CCD camera, so it was receiving DC current and obviously information from the sensor, because this is why it was automatic iris. So when the sensor having too much brightness, well, it gave information to the iris to close it up. And what is nice with this system, unfortunately I am not an electrician, but what is nice with this system is that the iris could close down a little bit, so you could really control the iris. Now I cannot. Now what I can is I can just open the iris and then close the iris. And because I have put inside only not that powerful battery, because it still opens up with DC current, so I put just a little DC current. Is I can sometimes manage, now it's wide open, and I can try sometimes. Maybe it got stuck a little bit, and I can have it not that open, like this one. Now it's full open. Now it's only a little bit. So sometimes I can manage, but it's time consuming to be able to gradually open it up. And another interesting technology that it is inside is an ND filter. So in fact, what is nice, that when it closing down the aperture, it's not only, the iris is closing, is the ND filter is a dense ND filter. I could see it when I have opened it, that when it's open, the ND filter is dense in the middle and less dense at the edges of the circle. So it's really a nice and a strange technology that it has this lens. So this is why it was a challenge, and I wanted to make it work with the Canon Eosm. So in this format right now, because I have eliminated, but I know this thing is important and I could use it. The only problem is that I suppose that this lens or this system, this electronics, were necessitated a lot of electricity, a lot of DC power. That means I should have an external battery. I don't know, maybe from 5 to 12 volts, and maybe then I could really use it again with the iris, the external battery of 5 to 12 volts. Probably I could use this system and then have a better control, realistic control of the iris, of the aperture. But right now I just eliminated, and I connected a battery, a very low voltage, DC voltage battery to the electronic part, which is inside. And then now I can open and I can close it. I have here a current adjustment thing, and so I can open and I can close. And sometimes, because I don't know, maybe it gets stuck or something, but sometimes I know I can just, you see, sometimes I'm managing to open just a little bit and then open it at maximum. So, but beside the iris, the aperture thing, this is now working extraordinary. And I love that, the fact that I could do this kind of thing. And this is what makes me to continue with the Canon Eosm, to be able to create my own lens or make old lenses work again, and they are quite good. Let me just put it back, this lens. So I am back with the monlyx lens. I suppose you can see the difference. And as you can see, it's working perfectly. I'm quite happy about it. I mean, as I told you, now I'm using the one-to-one crop mode and the preset of 2.8K at 14 bits, and it's just working perfectly. Now I cannot use the 4K or the 5K variant because it's still I have the problem with the circle, so it's not covering the sensor entirely. That means that I will have vignetting thing, but yeah, it's a quite nice option, the 2.8K also, and 14 bits raw. And I'm just loving this lens. I mean, $5 lens price. I don't think it's $5, but I just bought it for $5. What is nice is that I made it adjusted to be usable on Canon Eosm. So now I just can focus on myself. Like I'm coming here now I'm not in focus, right? So now I'm pulling the focus manually. And you see, right now I'm in focus. So right now I'm in focus. Now I go back. Here I'm not anymore in focus, so I have to adjust a little bit. And now I'm again in focus. So, and what is nice is that I very simply, I can just adjust the focus. Fortunately, I cannot adjust yet the iris because it's electronic, and as I am just the switching off the current is just closing. Like, let's just do a demonstration here live. So let me just report focus on me like this and trying to adjust. So I'm trying to adjust. So let me just trying to adjust the iris. It's just closing down, you see. Let me just try to open it, but it's opening up quite quickly. So I just cannot, it's closing, then okay. I mean, I'm messing, but yeah. Sometimes, if I'm trying really hard, I mean, trying just a little bit, sometimes I can. Oh, almost. See? There. Sometimes I can manage. But it's because it's talking. Oh. You saw? I managed a little bit. Sometimes I can get it to work, but I should be able, like this one, you see? So now I managed to have the iris a little bit closed. And with the ND filter, I have the feeling that is changing everything. So after a lot of try and errors, I can do it, but it's not easy. You see, so now I managed. So now I have, the iris, the aperture closed with the ND filter, but I mean, it's not that easy. and now it's open. Let me just go and focus again like this, and yeah, I'm in focus. So I love really this lens. I just wanted to share with you that, for example, because here it's everything about budget. If you do not have money, because this is what I want to try on this channel. If you do not have money, then look, you can buy old, unused people who are just selling lenses like this one, monlyx auto iris CC camera lens, a 12.5 millimeter with an 1.3 aperture lens. Take out the electronics, put a battery to open the iris, and then you have this kind of lens, which I love it. It's really great. I mean, look at it. I think it's a lens that you can already start to create beautiful footages or even record yourself, as you can see it here, because what is nice is really close, so I can adjust it. As you saw it, I can adjust it now. I'm just pulling the focus. I'm in focus, right? I can go even closer. And I can focus, or then just pull back and have the focusing like this. So hope this helps out you, a creator who is really low on budget, because this is what you have to understand. Camera, $250, then okay, you have to buy a monitor. You have to buy, again, you have to buy a SD card, right? Unfortunately, you have to invest a good SD card like this one, right? SanDisk. And with the lens, don't worry, you can buy old lenses, because adapters like rings like this one you can find for $10, right?